Go, stop, let's go. Let's go.
Good morning, people, wherever you are. Well, I should say good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to the Football Takeover for what is our match preview, Arsenal versus Aston Villa. I'm G Talks Arsenal, your host for today's show. And I'm joined by, we should be joined by Ali, but unfortunately he's got some car issues. So he's had to take his car to the mechanic on a bank holiday Monday, which isn't ideal. So if he does have an opportunity to come on, I'm sure he will. But I'm joined by two amazing panelists that, again, need no introductions in terms of Football Takeover. How are you doing, Nick, aka Geeks?
Yeah, I'm all good. It's a bank holiday Monday with an Arsenal game. Sun's currently shining. All good. Yourself?
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. I mean, tomorrow is the first day I'll be back at work for over 6 weeks. So I'm absolutely thrilled and delighted and really looking forward to the prospect of that. But yeah, other than that, no, I'm good. I'm good in general. I mean, I've had enough time off. I feel energized. I feel like the battery's been recharged. The next 2 days are kind of going to be just insets, really. So no kids. So just a lot of meetings, a lot of listening and stuff like that. So even though I'll be at work tomorrow, I think I'll be looking at my phone for most of the day.
Safeguarding, G? Is there the safeguarding videos you have to go through?
Yeah. Got to do all the tick box exercises before the academic year starts. So it's all good. It's all good. Dodsy, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, good, man. Obviously early show today. Obviously before the game. We were on late last night as well, so we're churning out the shows, which is good. But yeah, no, good. Looking forward to the show. To be honest with you, it's a nice distraction from all this transfer bollocks. So if I'm totally honest with you, yeah, looking forward to the game. Looking forward to seeing hopefully who's starting, who's going to come in. I'm desperate to see. Excuse my children in the background.
That's all good, man.
They are going bananas. But yeah, no, looking forward to. I really want to see the Bruno Guimaraes and Rice duo.
Yes,
I would love to see that. And I would kind of like to see Konza playing as well against his old team. I think that's something I really want to see. But yeah, other than that, yeah, looking forward to the game.
Definitely. And no need to apologize, man. You know, we're all fathers here, we're all family orientated men. So it's all good. It's all good. In terms of as he goes to turn off his camera and tell them
yeah.
So obviously what we're going to do, we will be obviously going through the comments as the show goes on. Just to be aware though, people, this is a preview show, so we're going to keep the content relevant to the show. If we've got some time at the end, we might, you know, take people's takes on obviously what's going to happen between now and the end of the window, but we want to keep it mainly focused on the preview. And some of us have got plans a little bit later on, so we don't want to be on air too long, but we do want to look forward to this game because I can echo what Dodzy said. I love a transfer window. I think everybody, I always say it in the Discord, in any kind of community I'm in, I don't take it too seriously. There was a time when I did. I used to go mental, like genuinely. Like I've had some absolutely epic like crash outs over the likes of Mudryk, over the likes of Vlahovic, over the likes of the potential Eze to Spurs deal. I've had some absolutely epic crash outs. And I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's age. I don't know whether it's experience. I don't know whether it's just acceptance. But I just got to a point now where I just don't deep it. I really don't.
I think it's, for me, it sucks the joy out of the fandom. Do you know what I mean? This was this was our summer as champions, and nobody's enjoyed it. Everyone's been agonising over the window, and I found that I've just needed to step back from it all. I'm just like, sod this.
And you know what the reality is? I've said it to a couple of the guys in the Discord. It's like you get this narrative of like, oh, the window's done, we're not signing anybody. But yet the same person that's saying it is so invested in the window.
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is, people say that because what they want is they want that acknowledgement of saying, I told you so. But then when something exciting does happen, nobody remembers what they actually said. So it's kind of a win-win situation. It's kind of a win-win situation. But the reality is, the same people that are saying nothing's going to happen, the window's dead, yeah, that might be the case, but they're the same people that are checking the Discord every minute of the day. So you're clearly invested. You're clearly, you know, invested in the potential of Arsenal signing. And Tyler admitted this. because I put Tyler on the ropes the other day, and I said to him, I was like, bro, you keep saying that we're not going to do anything, and you keep saying that nothing's going to happen, but you're here checking for updates.
It's copium,
he just said to me, G, leave me alone, because he knew I'd had him.
But G, I think similar to the Arsenal fan, there's a prominent one in the Gooniverse that absolutely bins the club, right? Every opportunity bins the club. And I think that is a beta male energy where it's like, if I say everything bad about the club, then you can't banter me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think it's that sort of negative copium that people do. We're not going to do anything. And when we don't do anything, I told you so. But if they do something, it's like a win-win for them. Do you know? They can't lose.
It's a coping mechanism, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, people use it as a coping mechanism. And I just don't understand it, though. I want new signings as much as everyone else. But I think we've got to understand I
saw that, Chris.
Yeah, exactly. We effectively wanted, we know what we wanted. All Arsenal supporters wanted the
front line bolstered.
The front line bolstered. We get that. We also have seen 2 players leave or leaving, to be confirmed, obviously. But so I kind of get it where people are coming from. They're sitting there going, hang on, last season we had injury woes, we had problems up front, and now we've let 2 players leave and we haven't replaced them.
But before we get on with the match review, guys, I was just going to say on that though, Dodds, I've said all summer I feel there's more improvement within the squad than the targets we could realistically sign. If we get a top, let's say a top 3 season or a top 2 season out of Saka, that's better than anybody that we can afford to go out there and get.
Absolutely.
If we get a premium Eze this year, playing on the left with an upgrade, with the Solis continuing to do what he does.
There you go.
Maybe we've got the answers already. I'm just this might be copium, but if you think we've got the squad we've got,
it's context, Nick. It's context, mate. We had Nigel on last night on the show last night, and he added some great context behind the show because he turned around and said, "Guys, we are wanting 2 people in every position." That's what we want. We were oversubscribed at centre forward. Let's be honest about it. And particularly if we're using Marino as a centre forward, or a makeshift box crashing false 9, whatever.
Whatever he is.
Whatever he is. But again, he's still there. So from a midfield point of view, we're literally are loaded and locked to have a great season. So, for me, yes, I do want a forward coming in. I would love Alvarez to come in. I still don't think that's done by any stretch of the imagination. Looking at training videos and him moping around, is it going to be a last minute? You're definitely not going to Barcelona, mate. It's not happening. And then it's Arsenal, please. Actually, I'd like to come to you guys. Are we going to get that? We don't know yet. Nobody knows yet. Fabrizio doesn't even know yet. So, we're all waiting for that information. Whether that happens tomorrow or not, we'll see. Whether we go in and we get another left winger, we'll see. Personally, I can't see the club letting go 2 players, particularly one of them being
nothing coming in.
With nothing coming in. I can't see it happening. Look, I could be proved wrong. Maybe Arsenal knows something I don't know. Maybe Eze is destined to play on that left. We don't know. But right now, what we're being told is that Arsenal are still working behind the scenes to create something. Most people don't know what that something is. So let's just wait and see. But more importantly, let's get into the game because it's absolutely such an important idea.
Absolutely. Dodsy, if you can do me a favor and try and avoid the transfer questions if you can. Try and bring up the ones that are more kind of obviously match related. Like I say, if we've got a bit of time at the end, we can have a little bit of a conversation. We've already had one now, but we'll see. Okay. So obviously we're going to start with obviously why we're here, which is to preview what is a very important game against Aston Villa. So we'll bring up our slides and obviously big up Dodsy for these slides. They are absolutely fantastic.
Sorry.
Have they gone?
No, they're coming now.
Okay,
no problem. So
no, that's not right.
There we go. So to focus on obviously Arsenal versus Aston Villa. So the 2 clubs have met 186 times. Arsenal winning 86, drawing 44, and losing 56. And then if you look at the last 5 meetings between the club, going back to 23 all the way up to 25. So we've got a 4-2 victory for the Arsenal in the Premier League. We've got a 1-0 win for Villa in the Premier League. Oh dear. We've got some of these, some of these results were like, particularly that one was a real dagger one. That's why I paused. You got the 2-0 Villa at home to obviously Arsenal in 24 in the Premier League. You've got the 2-0 win for Arsenal, and then you've got the 2-2 draw. Okay, some interesting facts in terms of head-to-head facts. So you can see it's on the right of my screen where it says head-to-head facts. Arsenal have won more league meetings against Aston Villa than any other opponent in their history. So that bodes well for this fixture. Arsenal have scored 2+ goals in 6 of the last 8 home league meetings against Aston Villa. So it's a game with goals, that's for sure. You can even see that from the latest head-to-heads. And then lastly, you can see here, Aston Villa have kept just 2 clean sheets in their last 20 Premier League meetings with Arsenal. Form guide. So Arsenal are on a rich vein of form, winning our last 6. Aston Villa, not so much, particularly, obviously, the first game of the season. They got absolutely smashed by Brighton. So form guide, I mean, it's completely, I mean, it says it there, it shows you, Arsenal are in a rich vein of form. Villa, very, very kind of sporadic all over the place. Arsenal 6 wins, 0 draws, 0 losses. 11 goals scored, 1 goal conceded, win rate 100%. Villa, 2 wins, 1 draw, 3 losses, scored 9, conceded 12, which is huge. And a win rate of only 33%. So it seems like a team that is on the upward trajectory as opposed to a team that is on downward spiral, some might say. Havertz has been a top scorer over our last 6 games. Watkins has been Villa's top scorer over their last 6 fixtures.
And guess who's missing?
Watkins.
Watkins.
Yeah.
And guess who's missing in their defense as well?
Konza.
Yeah. And I think that's going to be a massive That's going to be a massive talking point, because I know that's something I would have touched upon. We'll go through this and then we'll pause. But yeah, they've been absolutely ripped apart in the transfer window this summer. So there is context maybe to their bad start going into the campaign. So you've got Arsenal versus Aston Villa. So Arsenal, obviously, champions. Aston Villa finished an impressive 4th, in my opinion. Premier League games won, 27 to the Arsenal, 19 to the Villa. Premier League games drawn, 7 to Arsenal, 8 to Villa. Losses, 5 to Arsenal, 12 to Villa. Goals scored, 74, 57 to Villa. Goals scored per game, just under 2, so 1.90 for Arsenal, 1.46 to Villa. Premier League goals conceded, we conceded 27 over 38 games. They conceded 51. And then lastly, goals conceded per game. So we conceded less than a goal per game, 0.69. Villa conceded just over 1 a game, which is 1.31. So at this moment, we can kind of pause a little bit. You can refer to these stats. You don't have to refer to these stats. In fact, I'll actually remove them and then we'll go on to the other stats later. I just kind of want to get your vibe on, obviously, just about this game, going into it, your thoughts about it, how you're feeling. Obviously, Villa, we've made complete polar opposite starts to our Premier League campaigns. Villa have been absolutely smashed on the opening game of the season. Arsenal have put in 2 really impressive back-to-back wins against City in the Community Shield, and then now Coventry in the league. So I'll come to you first, Geeks. Thoughts on this game going into it?
See, I'm being cautious today, G, because the 4-0 smashing can lure you into a false sense of security. If you think about the disruption that was going on with Ollie Watkins and others and all the rest of it, they started at that first 10 minutes, they looked like Villa, and then they just completely collapsed. And at some point, I think this Villa squad will find their equilibrium. You know how everybody thought Newcastle was just going to get absolutely blitzed?
Yeah.
They've been raided and all the rest of it. And I feel like Newcastle might have a Brentford season, when they lost their manager, lost their best players, lost their captain, and they might do something like that. I feel like Villa might just take a little bit longer to recover.
Yeah.
I think being their first home game, Arsenal, there's that rivalry between the squads. It's always a tough place to go and play. It's a great ground. It's a traditional ground. And Emery's no fool. So I think the first 20 minutes of this match is vitally important. I really, really do. And I think if we can go there and play with the positivity that we have shown versus City in particular, we should be able to weather any storm from Villa.
Absolutely.
Where they might want to come at us. And that's why I'm saying that first 20 minutes and the first 10 minutes of the second half, they're those sort of key. And then when you're managing the game at the end, but those two bits, just when there's a bit more about them and they're like trying to get that result. McGinn, for me, should have been sent off in his last game for 2 yellows. I can't believe he got away with one. But I feel like they're going to have that fragility there. And that's why I'm saying that first 20 minutes, it's important for Arsenal to impose themselves like champions and like the top squad that we are. They need to go there. And I'm really interested to see how Arteta sets us up, because this basic we put in predicted, but our lineup could be anything of 2, 3, 4 outcomes if you think about it.
Really
so when you're trying to counter that as Emery, trying to go, okay, he's literally going to have to put his strongest 11 on the pitch. And adjust to us. That's what he's going to have to do, depending what Arteta goes with. So I think we win this game, and I think we lose this game. Villa can turn up and be good, but I think the onus is all on us, boys.
Yeah, absolutely. Dodzy, I'll come to you. I mean, just to kind of give you a bit of context as well, because I think, like Geek said, I think with football, nothing is guaranteed. You know, you can look at a scenario and you can say, look, they've lost Rodgers, Konza, Watkins, Tillemans, Malin, Martinez. I mean, that is incredible. That's like more or less a spine of the side. At the same time, you can look at it, but football's not one on paper. You know, and it's like very similar to what Geek said. You know, you can look at a club and say they're going to absolutely struggle, and then you can look at a club and say they're going to fly. But then look, you know, you get a Sunderland or a Bournemouth from last season, and then you get a Chelsea. You know, on paper, Chelsea should be competing for the league and finishing in the top 4 positions. They finished 10th, and you got a Bournemouth who are pushing for Europe, who really, in terms of squad depth and actual quality, they probably should be at least in the bottom half of the table. It's not a given. So I very much take that as a valid point. But obviously, from your point or your perspective, Dodsey, I mean, you've heard from Geeks, snippets from me. How are you feeling going into this game?
Yeah, man. I mean, I just think we're too strong. Personally, I think our defense. I think our defense, our midfield, is incredible. It's absolutely incredible. The depth, what we have, how we're going to play. I think it's incredible. I think their weakened team. Look, Villa will be all right. Emery's a good coach. I take the mick out of him a lot, but he's a very good coach.
Yeah, he is.
And he'll get them playing. He'll get them playing well. He also tactically has notoriously always been very good against Arteta tactically. So, you know, I see him being playing a very tactical game today against Arteta. So, you know, Jackson up front, you know, can cause problems.
He's a handful.
And he caused. In fact, he's one of the players that have caused. I know Saliba's not playing, but Gabriel and Saliba a lot of issues in the past in games we've played against him. So, I think from my point of view, I believe that we'll be too strong for them today. But let's not. You know, let's not underestimate how tactically good what's his name can be, Emery can be, because he can be. He is very good at what he does. So from my point of view, I think we'll be too strong today. But I don't think it's going to be a walkover game by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, I think, you know what, I'm confident going into the game, simply because I'm looking at the context of we're playing really well. They're not. We have strengthened, albeit not the attackers yet, lads. I've not been overly impressed with their signings. Emery is tactically very good. At the same time, I think when you look at the quality of the starting lineup, and even more importantly, the bench of both sides. I mean, even if this game isn't won by the starters, we've got so many options that can come on and change the game. Yeah. And if we start with Akai, you know, we can bring on a Gyökeres at the end. You know, if Bruno starts, we can bring on an MLS. If Odegaard's not having a great game, we can bring on an Eze. I mean, Solis has started the season incredibly well. So I find it difficult. I never go into games arrogant or overconfident, but if we don't get 3 points, I will be disappointed. Yeah, I will be disappointed. And I know you could say that about any game, but given the context of both sides, I would be genuinely disappointed if we don't get this game won. But we've got to turn up, and we've got to turn up, and we've got to get the
earn
job
it.
done.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I agree.
Absolutely. So yeah, for me, I'm confident. It's all about how we approach the game. I mean, this is just a prediction, but I think Emery will try to. They're not going to come out and go gun for gun, in my opinion. I think if they, I know they're playing at home, but if they come out and go gun for gun, I think we destroy them in 20 minutes. I think he's gonna have to keep things tight, and he's gonna have to try and frustrate Arsenal. Yeah, he's gonna have to try and frustrate Arsenal as much as possible.
If you remember,
for me, they just don't have the firepower to compete with us.
If you remember the last time he tried to come out and play blow for blow, they got swept aside within the first 25 minutes of the game.
He can't approach the game like that. He can't.
No.
But by all means, please do. Please
approach. I think this is what Dylan says here. He's key on these two players, McGinn, Bewenda, but also Garnacho, because Garnacho also goes at us.
Yeah.
And I think, I was watching. What game was I watching the other day? Liverpool game.
Yeah.
And Forest just kept getting jelly legs when they do you know what I mean? The nerves got to them when they went into the final third. Teams never do that against us. We have to fight for every bloody point. Last season, we at home and away, we had to fight for it. We never get that.
And literally, teams attacking us, like you said, mate. Literally, always score absolute bangers against us.
Absolutely. We'll make Jackson look like prime George Weah tonight.
Yeah. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that.
Right, we'll move on. So goals scored. Obviously, this is how the two teams compare. So you've got Arsenal scoring 74, 43, which were from open play, 23 set pieces, 0 free kicks, 4 penalties and 4 own goals. In comparison to Villa, you've got 57 goals. Open play with 37, set pieces 18, 0 free kicks, 0 penalties, however, 2 own goals. I mean, just coming back to you lot, I mean, there's a lot of I had this debate even this morning in the Discord with good old Big Ant. Me and him go head to head every single day, I feel like, at the moment. We got on like a house on fire when we actually met, but in the Discord it's completely the opposite. But there was there's a lot of discourse and narrative around Arsenal don't score enough goals. I disagree. Manchester City scored 6 goals more than us last season in the Premier League. I don't think the issue is scoring goals. I think, for me personally, the issue is how we look, aesthetically, how we play. I think that's more of an issue. And also, I do feel sometimes it's kind of like when we score those goals, there were so many occasions last season where I felt like we could have just deaded a game when it was 1-0 or when it was 2-1. So I think there's a lot more context. I think the narrative of we don't score enough goals and our attack is meaty, I think it's lazy in my opinion. I think it's easy to say. I think there's a lot more to it, because whatever we were doing last season, it was effective. We were scoring goals. It's quite clear though the fans weren't happy with how we were aesthetically playing, and in certain games not putting games to bed. So when you look at these stats, I mean, we've scored more goals. We scored more significantly more goals than Villa last season. More goals from open play, more goals from set pieces, obviously, because we are known as set piece FC. I mean, is there anything here that kind of stands out to either of you with regards going into this game and how teams, where the goals might come from in terms of both teams?
Yeah, I mean, I think we got branded last season as set piece FC, can't score open play goals, but every time I see these match statistics come up for everyone we're playing, we're outpowering them up front.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, we scored a lot of set piece goals, but guys, let's be honest about this. it's part of the game. Is the game not, you know? And I love the analogy of Arteta breaks it down like an ice hockey game or like a basketball game, because they are very tactical games. So why not use these to your advantage? If we can do it, why aren't other teams doing it as well as us?
Dodds, just to interject on that, just for context.
Yeah.
People, you know, the media noise on us and set pieces. There was a little bit last season on us scoring set pieces, wasn't there? Just a tiny bit of noise.
Yeah,
a little bit. Right. So I'm just going to read out the title. I'm going to give you a comparison between first place and third place, which is Arsenal versus Man United. Arsenal scored 71 goals. Man United scored 2 less with 69 goals. On set pieces, they scored 1 less than us last year.
This is what I'm saying, though. It's
nothing said, is it?
Nothing's said. It's like, come on now.
It's not reflective. Like, the narratives that float around are just not reflective of the reality.
If we scored all of our goals in open play, do you know what they would say? They don't get it. They're rubbish. They don't do anything from set pieces.
We don't have any set pieces.
Just move the goalposts.
Exactly.
It's just that simple. We've got some other stats here. These are more advanced stats. So I think what we'll look at is we'll look at the 25-26 season as opposed to 24-25. So for Arsenal, you've got expected goals per game XG was 2. Expected goals XG per game.
That's because it's on one game, because we won ours.
Possession 70%, pass completion 92, shots per game 16, shots on target per game 7, corners per game 3, fouls per game 12. We had one thing I do like about Arsenal is that we massively, I think this is overshadowed as well, we massively improved our discipline, in my opinion, last season in terms of yellows and reds. Clean sheets. Obviously here you've got when it says 100%, Dodsy,
Oh, that's because it's for one game this season.
One game.
So you've got it split between 24, 25, 26.
I like what you've done there, Dodds, because you can see in our one game, albeit Coventry at home, how we performed against the whole of the last season last year.
Exactly.
So it will give you a running narrative as we get through 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games.
You'll have
how it's comparing. I like it.
Cool.
I like it.
So for context, people, because obviously I didn't massively interpret that. The 24-25 is obviously across the campaign. 25-26 obviously is across this campaign, but the context is obviously there's only been one game. And then we've got here ball recoveries per game 13, obviously in the Coventry game. And then duels 1 per game 5. So it is quite interesting how you see how the stats vary. I mean, obviously we don't have a massive pool because it's just Coventry, but it is interesting to see how it compares from the whole campaign to one game. Now with Aston Villa had an expected goals XG per game of 1.53 1.53 the season of 24. So far this season 0.4, because obviously they are struggling, only having played Brighton. Against Brighton, expected goals against was 0.6. Their possession was 59%. That's interesting, given they got smacked 4-0.
Exactly. That was what I thought.
That's very. I mean, did you see? I think it was Chelsea had something like 30% possession in the game that they won the other day. I found that quite interesting. So you got hi coach, we'll come to you 1 second. We've got pass completion 88%, shots per game against it was 8, shots on target 3, corners they had 4, fouls 9, 1 yellow card, no reds, offsides 1, clean sheets obviously none because they got battered, ball recoveries 10, and duels 1 per game 6. So we'll just pause there. I'll give you guys a chance to just kind of look at that. People at home look at that, and we will. You're right there, coach.
Just clean the old lens there, mate.
Welcome, coach. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you, boys. Good to jump on. I was listening in as I was getting to location to jump on. So yeah, it's been a busy morning, but it's all sorted and we're all good. If you know, you know.
Excellent. Just quickly, before we kind of go over these, I mean, like I say, Dodsy and Geeks, have a little look, see if there's anything you want to highlight. But how are you feeling quickly, coach, in a couple of minutes in terms of going into this game ahead of the Villa match tonight?
Yeah, I'm feeling good, feeling confident. You know, my guy, you know, the Geeks knows me very well from last season, and you two do as well. Just pick the right team and win. I think we've got a quality squad. And yeah, let's go do the business at Villa Park. They're a very good side, no matter what happened last weekend to them against Brighton. As you boys pointed out a few minutes ago, percentage stats from last week, etc. But yeah, we have to respect them. They've lost a lot of key players. They've lost a lot of their spine. That doesn't mean it's going to be a walkover this evening, because people like Nicholas Jackson and whoever else they brought in over the past few days, they're going to be wanting to make an impression in front of the home fans, first home game of the season. But yeah, if Arsenal can control their controllables, which I expect them to do, we should win this game by 2 goals.
Cool. So yeah, lads, anything about the stats that you want to draw attention to?
I would just say, when you're looking at Villa, that to me, when you're looking at their possession, you're looking at their pass completion, it's more what they're doing with the ball, getting the ball into the final third. But that says to me what they're doing off the ball wasn't adequate enough as well in that game. That was obviously fighting for that second ball, being successful in the challenge, you know, all of that winning your duels. That's what that says to me. I mean, it looks, when you start looking at their XG, and yet their pass completion and their possession was where you would expect it to be, if not exceeding it, then it's what they're doing. They weren't effective with what they was doing with the ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that's your runs, that's your creativity. It's having the bravery to hit the pass as well, which is one of our flaws from last season when we was a bit too slow. I want hitting that ball first time, like Miles did against City. That's what you want to see. And I think that's possibly where, you know, is that what Emery's going to look at? Is that what he's going to try and put right against us? Brave approach if he does. So
agreed.
And that also, sorry, Dozzy, that also, before you go, that also in turn, if we, like, for example, those Miles Lewis Skelly passes, the Bruno Guimaraes passes, those vertical passes, if we get that to go through the lines quickly, like we have against Man City and Coventry, that naturally speeds up our attacking play. And then that naturally gets us into more spaces to do a bit of magic, create a moment, inverted commas, for the likes of Saka and Zolis to feed off. Yeah.
I think for me, looking at our stats, pass completion was a big one for me, percentage wise. You know, we found that last season, our pass completion wasn't awful. Clearly we won the league, but it wasn't great, was it?
It was up to our standards.
That's it. So clearly that's something that we're trying to work on. You know, shots per game as well. You know, 16 shots in the last game. It's pretty decent, isn't it? You know, versus 8 shots in the game before. So I think there's clearly an emphasis on attacking play this season from Arteta. But we'll have to see if he's willing to do it and go away to Aston Villa and play that style of football. You know, that's what I want to see. Last season, he wasn't brave enough to do that, going away in certain big games. So what I want to see is him going away and committing that emphasis on attack, and see where it gets us, really.
Absolutely. Right, so we're just going to quickly breeze through the doubts and outs list before we get on to predicted lineups and then go through our individual lineups. So obviously, as we know, for Arsenal, you've got Saliba out with his back issue. Timber, doubt, return status still unclear. Bruno Guimaraes, what we do know, Hand of Arsenal has posted this morning, and he has said, and he's really good, really, you know, on point with team news with regards Bruno Guimaraes and Konza have been part of the travelling squad. I think we all expected Konza to be, but there was a little bit of doubt maybe around Bruno Guimaraes. There wasn't much in terms of pictures of training, but by all accounts, he has travelled, so that's good. Obviously, we point number 4 here on the screen. We are awaiting match day check. So regardless of what's come out or what the status is now, that can change with regards to team news. You know, a player that is not expected to be part of the squad could be. A player who is might not be. I mean, things can even happen during pre-match warm-up, so just be prepared for that. And then obviously the official team news is pending, so that doesn't come out until an hour or an hour and a half before kickoff. Now for Aston Villa, Onana, long-term absence. Really unfortunate that he got that long-term injury. I actually really like him. João Gomez, doubt, missed final friendly, injured. Brian Madjo, doubt, missed final friendly, injured. Johan Manzambi, obviously their summer signing. He's a doubt, fitness status unclear. And obviously, again, with fitness news, we'll wait for team news that will be pending about an hour and a half before the game. Team news update. Declan Rice returned and featured versus Coventry and is now fully available for selection against Aston Villa. No fresh injury concerns have been reported beyond Saliba Timber's ongoing issues. Arsenal have a near full squad and their full matchday picture will be confirmed in Arteta's final update. Aston Villa and Nana remains a long-term absentee with Joe Gomez and Brian Madjo both missing Villa's final friendly through injury. Emery's final pre-match update is still to be done. So predicted lineups for Arsenal. We've got Raya in goal. We've got a back four of White, Mosquera, Gabriel Calafiori. We've got the two in midfield of Bruno Guimaraes and Rice. We've got Odegaard ahead of them with Saka on the right, Solis on the left, and Havertz up front.
I'd just like to say, when I created these slides, Watkins hadn't left yet. So
I know, bro.
I like that. Everyone.
I know, bro. Suzuki, top keeper.
They're playing with 10.
Suzuki is a top keeper. Really, really good signing. Good. I'm actually surprised he went there. They've got a back four of Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Paul Torres, and Ruggieri. So a couple of signings in there with Wan-Bissaka and obviously Ruggieri. Onana, obviously he's not there. You've got Kamara. You've got McGinn ahead of those with Bailey and Garnacho on the wings, and then Watkins, who obviously has since gone to Al Hilal to join Martinelli. It's most likely going to be Jackson. So we're going to now look at our teams. So Ali, you've obviously come to the show a little bit late because you had some issues to deal with. Ali went with Raya in goal, a back four of White, Mosquera, Calafiori. Have we missed
Gabby? Big Gabby.
Yeah, Big Gabby's not there, but that's fine. And then a midfield three of Rice, MLS, Odegaard, and then a front three of Saka, Solis, and Havertz. So talk us through your team and your rationale as to why.
Yeah, why did you leave out Big Gabby, mate? Why did you only want to play with 10, trying to give them a chance?
Well, obviously you've missed out Watkins, so I thought I'd leave it out, mate. No, seriously, obviously, it's meant to have Gabby on there. We all know that. That's a team that won last week. I think there's rhythm in this side. I like the way they played last week. The high intensity with and without the ball, especially with the ball, because obviously we've all been harping on about that as a must, as a prerequisite for this season. So for me, it's simple. I think this team is more than capable, more than good enough to get the win this evening under the lights at Villa Park. And then I would like to see if we are in a comfortable position to bring on the likes of Bruno, give him half an hour, give him some minutes. I mean, some of these games, most of these games, these first 2 or 3 or 4, for all clubs, are going to be like pre-season. So it'd be nice if Rice, we're winning, 2 goals lead, Rice comes off, Bruno comes on. MLS, he's been outstanding through pre-season, and I expect him to continue his form. I mean, he was outstanding in the Champions League final, and the games before that, he was a massive cog in Arsenal's midfield to make us play better, a bit more dynamic, better on the ball, likes to go forward, plays with his head up, unlike, with all due respect, someone who's just departed in Gabriel Martinelli, who I've got a lot of time for, but that is just the reality of how he plays football. Havertz deserves to start over Gyökeres. I haven't seen anything to suggest otherwise in pre-season. He got his goal last week, interchanged in that front three quite well, dropped a little bit deeper, allowed Saka and Zolis to go a little bit more central to do their thing. I liked how Zolis was actually transitioning from one wing to the other, especially in that first half against Coventry. And I expect these rotations and movements to be the same today and going forward into the season. If we need to be trusting in our defence and midfield as we are, and just go and let the boys, the front 4 or 5, how you want to do it, just to go and express themselves. Obviously, Aston Villa are going to pose different threats. They're, with all due respect to Coventry, they're a much better side than Coventry. So I'm expecting a sterner test, but the same outcome. Raya is Raya. Odegaard, massive. Have to give him a massive mention as well. He's had a solid pre-season. He had a good World Cup, and this an on-form Odegaard makes Arsenal tick. So let's hope he can carry this on, and it's not a minor little patch of form. And let's make it 3 games in a row with Odegaard being with a shout of being man of the match. Because if Odegaard or Saka or whoever's in with a shout of being man of the match, that means we've won the game.
No problem. Thank you, Coach. Geeks, obviously, you went with Ryan in goal, a back four of White, Konza, Gabriel, and Calafiori. I think you waited for the Mikel Arteta presser. You've gone with a midfield 3 of Rice, Bruno, and Odegaard, and a front 3 of Saka, Solis, and Havertz. So, yeah, talk us through your team.
So, with Konza, there is not a harder game for him this season than his debut for Arsenal, being at the home of his club.
Yeah,
I like what that does mentally to a player, and to prove to Arteta immediately that he can trust that player in any crucible that he's going to go and face this season, right? So being in front of your former club, all the rest of it, it's like the Sol Campbell moment of going back to White Hart Lane. So that is why I've gone with Konza. I like that the stability that he could offer us on that right-hand side, particularly if White has got to deal with Bailey or anyone on their speedster. You know, I just like having that there, that recovery, that one-on-one ability. I went with Bruno because Bruno and Rice for me will be our number 1 midfield. That's no slight on Miles. Yeah. I think there is room for Miles. I think there's plenty of minutes in games for Miles. But this game, I want to have a psychological impact on a weakened team, you know, where they are hurting from the 4-0. They're looking to make a statement. If you're going out there, I don't care who you are. If you're having to face Bruno and Rice, that does something to your head. That doesn't feel like you're going to push us around, doesn't feel like you're going to play through us. And it gives us that perfect foundation to find Saka, to find Solis, to give them a little bit more freedom to kind of make the run. But I want to see Solis and Saka hit space a little bit more. Sometimes there's space between the centre-back and the full-back, and I want to see them spin. But we actually play that forward pass with the verticality that Bruno has. So that's what I'm looking for. That's why I've picked that team. It's solid. It should get the job done easily with a potentially fragile opponent.
Yeah. No problem. Thank you. Dodzy, you obviously went with Raya in goal, back 4 of White, Konza, Gabriel, Calafiori, midfield 3 of Bruno, Rice, Odegaard, and then a front 3 of Saka, Havertz, Solis. Talk us through your team.
Yeah, Nick and I think we're on a par, mate. I think that's our strongest team at the moment. And as Ali always says, you know, put the right team out, we'll get the win. I think the only areas I think may change, if I'm honest, is obviously Konza maybe not starting, maybe Mosquera starting in front of him. And possibly it's a little bit too early for Bruno to start a game, maybe coming on for MLS, which I'd be happy with, you know, both those changes. So for me, it's just the strongest team we can go with, which is my selection. And you put that team out, just like Nick said. I think Nick literally summed it up brilliantly. That team sends shivers down most of the team, down the spine of most of the teams in the Premier League.
The whole of the Prem, mate.
Say it. Dodge, just to quickly add, I think the reason why it's important to start Bruno is Chelsea next Saturday. I agree.
I think he needs legs.
Give him the minutes.
Yeah, he needs some minutes. He needs some minutes.
But I think he needs early minutes, because I think a game, you know, when we say, oh, he comes on the last 20 minutes of the game, you know, a game is not flowing as quickly. It's not, movement's not as quick. Your personnel's changed. I think if we want him to start against Chelsea, who, let's face it, this season look from the first 2 games as though they're going to be our rivals this season. You know, we're just saying from their first 2 games, look, they're seeping in loads of goals and everything. But, you know, let's just put it like that. We need him to be playing with the team that is going to be starting games. So I would like him to start if he's fit enough, as long as he's obviously not putting any risk in him. And I think we put this team out and we get the win. It's as simple as that.
Yeah,
it's
no
a
problem.
must. It's a must.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, my team is very similar to all of the teams that we've spoken about. I've gone with Raya in goal, a back four of White, Mascara, Gabriel Calafiori. Obviously, that was pre-presser. And to be honest, I wouldn't have a massive issue if Mascara did play, but I think Konza is ready, so it makes sense. We bought Konza to come in for Saliba, to cover for Saliba, so I don't have an issue with Konza. This was just, at the time, I just didn't know what the situation was. But again, I wouldn't raise an eyebrow if Mascara starts the game, to be honest. But it'd be nice if Konza starts, because it'd be nice to him to actually play in the side ahead of, you know, our upcoming fixtures. I've gone with a midfield three of Rice, Lewis Skelly, and Odegaard. I'm still not certain that BG is ready, if I'm completely honest. We know that, you know, obviously here at the Football Takeover, we rubbished all the claims that he was going to be out for like 6 or 7 months or whatever. People were talking crap on the timeline. But at the same time, I'm not sure if he's ready. I would like him to get some minutes. But at the same time, I absolutely love MLS, so I'd have no issue with him starting. So I'd probably go with MLS and Rice with Odegaard to start with, and then maybe bring Bruno Guimaraes on. I mean, at some point, I mean, what a player to be able to bring on. And then a front three of Solis. I mean, at the moment, he's our best and only option on the left. So hopefully that changes between now and the end of the window. He's made a phenomenal start. So let's hope that continues. Saka has looked brilliant. Saka, for me, has looked really good since the third place playoff in the World Cup for me. There was a lot of people, you know, throwing around narratives that he would need an extended holiday. For me, he was the best player on the pitch in that game against France. And he's kind of just shown that in the games after. So Saka, for me, starts. And then, you know what? Like, everybody knows that I am a massive fan of Gyökeres. He was a big summer signing last year, and I'm still never gonna buy this whole narrative that he's absolutely crap. I'm just not, because he's a professional footballer. The reality is none of these players that people always do this whole lazy thing and just say, oh, that player's crap. They're not crap. They might not necessarily be at the Arsenal level, but in my opinion, we just don't play to Gyökeres' strengths, and we're never going to. And I've actually, instead of beating that drum, you know, repetitively and just consistently, and for it's not going to change, is it? Like, Arteta, for me, we could go into the whole thing of why on earth did we sign him. I agree. I don't really get why we signed him. He's not a technically gifted striker. He was never going to work in Arteta's system. And when we signed him, I thought we were going to change the way we play. We haven't changed. We haven't changed the way we played. So there's no point me sticking to my guns and saying Gyökeres should play when we play much better football when Kai starts. There's just no point. If I'm just going to sit here and pick Kai week in, week out, knowing that we play better football to Arteta's system with Kai in the team, then clearly I'm more or less supporting the player more than the actual benefit of the team and how the team performs. So for me, Kai starts. Kai is not what I would say is the answer to our centre forward issues. However, he is a very good player. He's technically good. His link-up play is good. He's good in the air. He gives us the option of going long. You know, his combinations with the wingers is really, really good. So that would be my team. Obviously, people, drop your teams in the comments if you want, with regards, obviously, who you want to start. Now we're on to score predictions. We've been on air for 48 minutes. Can we break the hour? Can we get the hours? Can we get the hours? So I'm going to come to you first, Dodsy. Dodsy, what is your score prediction for this game?
I'm terrible at these anyways, mate. So
are we going to do heart, head, desire?
Yeah, I'm going to do my heart, head, and desire. With the amount of players they've kissed goodbye, I can't not see it happening. So let's go with heart. Heart 4-1 to Arsenal.
Okay.
Head is going 2-1 to Arsenal. Desire, I want to slap them up front. I want to slap them. I want Konza to score a set piece goal against them, dunk on them. So my desire is I want a big win. I want a masterclass at their place, and I want to destroy them all over the park. So my desire will be 5-0.
Okay, nice. Geeks.
So my heart is going to be best case scenario. What I feel, what I would wish that So the best case scenario, I think, would be a 3-0 Arsenal win. The desire, I agree with Dodds. I'd love a 4-0. The difference is, last week they were playing a team they thought they could beat, and how you flow from defence and midfield and attack and the space you give. When you're playing a team you think you can beat, you're less compact, and so teams can play through you. So that's why I'm going to say 4-0 with Head. I think it all kind of comes a bit more compacted and a bit more. So this is my predicted score, 2-1 Arsenal. I think it's going to be tricky. I'm a little bit nervous about the reffing decisions that we're going to see in the next couple of games.
Okay.
Villa, Chelsea home. Hopefully we don't get screwed. But after the United decision yesterday, I'm always a bit worried about the first part of the season. So we shall see. But 2-1 Arsenal. That's what
it wasn't a handball, man. I don't know what you're talking about. I thought he was allowed to hold the ball like a rugby game.
I thought he was going to score a try. I thought it could be.
It is true.
Right, coach. Head, heart, desire for the score prediction.
Win. Simple. Win. Prediction. I would like us to keep a clean sheet, to be quite honest. It would be nice to keep that run going, make it 3 out of 3. 3-0 against Man City, 3-0 against Coventry. It would be nice if we get a 2-3-0 win against Villa. It won't be. When I say that, I'm not saying this is going to be an easy game. No. It's just the level. This is the level that Arsenal are operating at the moment, and we have been for, last season and this season. And if we go back here in previous seasons, we've been at a high level for the last 2-3 years, second, first. So Arsenal's main challenges this season is themselves. It's up to us if we win this league or not. No one can touch us. I'm saying that not because we've won the league. I just see the squads. I just see the teams. I just see what is coming off the bench. I just see the structure of play. Our manager, he needs to improve just on literally squad rotation, to be quite honest. Because in terms of tactics and figuring out other teams, he's quite good at that. And so is his extended staff. So for me, keep your head, Arsenal, play with desire, and just go and win this game. If Arsenal play to their full capacity, Aston Villa play to their full capacity with their new squad, there's only one winner, with all due respect. And then that's not me being arrogant. That's just the last 2 seasons of how we've been performing as a football club, as a team. We all know we want to improve in attack, and instead of winning games 1-0, 2-1, squeaky bum time, 85th minute winner, let's just go out there like the Invincibles used to and just go bang, bang, 2-0 half time. And then it's up to them how they react to us. Let's be proactive rather than being reactive with our substitutions and our mental state when we start the game.
Cool. Right. In terms of my head, heart, and desire. So head, I'm saying 2-0. Heart, probably a 2-1. And desire, I mean, I just want to absolutely smash them. Give me a 6-0 away from home. Get that goal difference up. I think just like all close contested Premier League campaigns, goals may come into play. I mean, they didn't massively come into play in the end last season, but for a little while,
it was a bit squeaky
bum time in terms of like, how many goals have we scored, etc. So if we can tally up the goals, in certain fixtures early on. I think it will help us. So yeah, 2-0 head. Heart says 2-1, 6-0 win is my desire. So that wraps up our show, 55 minutes. Obviously, just to kind of give you a bit of an update, so we are on tonight for an instant match reaction tonight at 9:45 p.m. But obviously, I just want to obviously thank Geeks for coming on the show. Geeks, let the people know where they can find you, bro.
Yep.
You can find me on Geeks of Muckleby or at Muckleby on X and on the Football Takeover. So good talking to everybody. Great to speak to you again, lads. And thank you to everybody in the chat.
Thank you, Geeks. Dodsy?
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
again,
look at it.
You're right, Coach. How you doing, my friend? Yeah, no, thank you for having me on. Guys, please, if you haven't liked, shared, and subscribed, please do so. We are on the way to 1,000. Also, yeah, you can catch me in the Discord. If you guys want to enter the Discord, again, please send myself or G Talks Arsenal a message on X. We can send you a link out. Yeah, loads of stuff going on in there. Come in and check it out. Yeah, thank you for watching the show, and come on the Gunners. Let's do it.
Yep. Coach?
Yeah, sorry I had to join a little bit later than first expected, but boys, fantastic show. It was great listening to it. Appreciate you guys hugely. And yeah, let's go and get this win. I know it's transfer season, only a few hours left, a couple of days, a day and a half remaining. But I don't see any news coming in with regards to ins, if at all, until after the game. So let's get this win at Villa Park, and then let's see if Arsenal Football Club can actually get one attacker over the line minimum. That would be amazing. That's what the fans want. That's what we want. And yeah, man, it's been an absolute pleasure. Geeks, it's great to see you back on here, mate. And hopefully I look forward to seeing you all later on tonight.
Okay, we were really close to finishing within an hour, but
no, we are. We're still on.
We're on 56, mate. I've got the.
Listen,
I can see what's going down.
I'm gonna do this real quick. Yeah, listen. Pleasure to always host these shows. Thank you to obviously Geeks, Coach, and Dodsy for joining me. We are back tonight at 9:45 p.m. You can find me on X, G Talks Arsenal. You want to join the Discord? Just drop me a DM. But yeah, that's it from me.
There we go. Boom, boom. Like, share, subscribe, and all the good stuff.
Yeah. All that is left to say, we've got a really important game tonight. Yes, as Coach said, it is transfer window, but let's just pause the transfers for now. Enjoy the game and see what happens tomorrow. But until next time, see you later, man.